first review of Shin Matsunaga month. This is going to be the review for the standard release Master Grade Zaku Shin Matsunaga. If you've been following my channel for a little bit, you'll see it multiple times. This is the pose I always keep it in. I actually haven't moved or done anything with it in about a year since I bought this base, the debris from the Gundam shop in Taipei, the Gundam base. So this is actually the first time I've touched it in a long while, but I believe I mentioned it in the intro video. The reason why I chose this and Shin Matsunaga month in total is because this was actually the first kit, not the first one I ever built, but the first one I ever panel lined and top coated and really gave a lot of TLC and love and attention. It's the reason I fell in love with Gundam. So, but that was such a long time ago. I don't have the box, the accessories are kind of in storage, so this is kind of an incomplete video. I can tell you guys more about it if you want in the comments what else came with it, but this is going to be a short, simple video because the more in-depth one with all the knowledge and proper, in-depth look at it, and also comparing to this, is going to be at the end of the month with the Shin Matsunaga P Bandai Custom Zaku. So this is just a nice little intro to the month, and it's just going to be a quick look at the Zaku 2. Keep an eye out for the P Bandai one because it's going to be way more in depth and we're going to be comparing the two model kits. But with that being said, let's get started. Just some really quick basic info. I bought this kit in Bangkok. I cannot remember the exact location I bought it. If I figure it out, I'll let you guys know. I can put it down, I can add it to the description, but yeah, it took me 4 hours and 36 minutes to complete. I don't have any of the spare pieces. It was actually because of this model kit I decided to start clipping the boxes because I couldn't take it with me as much, but I managed to bring the kit and I started cutting these off, and I have a whole collection of them now for every kit that I do, so when I move it's not as unwieldy, but it's widely available. It's a standard release, so you don't have to worry about it being exclusive and paying huge exorbitant prices. It's not as common as the Char Zaku, but at the same time it is fairly common. If you go to your Gunpla shop, it's more likely you'll find a Char or Green Grunt, but it's not P Bandai, so you're not going to pay a premium to buy it. So with that being said, let's get into the review and get into the build process. In terms of build process, if you built any Zaku 2 before the MG, it's pretty standard. You've built it 100 times. The only problem I really encounter, and it's a common one I've seen online, is this sticker. It's a water slide, but it is really unwieldy and hard to put. I took some people's advice and I actually split it, but I wound up putting it wrong, like on the opposite end. So this shoulder armor is actually in the wrong way. It should be the other way around, but I didn't realize until later, and it's so unwieldy. As you can see, it's not great. It doesn't stick well. I've had to put a little glue in there. It's not perfect, but other than that, it's great. This is different. You get an extra decal for the white wolf. I decided to put it on his chest, but you get some really nice stickers with this. It really pops, it really sticks out, and when you panel line it, I feel like this is one of the best looking kits out there in terms of the Zaku 2. So overall, the build process is fine. I'll talk more in depth about the P Bandai one, which is pretty much the same, but yeah, a lot of little mini stickers as always, little warning signs and everything, but overall, yeah, fairly fun, enjoyable. If you've never built a Zaku 2, it doesn't specifically have to be this one, but I would highly recommend you build one. I believe it is the pinnacle of Gunpla, and it's a good introduction beyond just a standard. If you want to get into master grade as opposed to high grade, the Zaku 2 is always the perfect place to start. So that being said, let's move on. So in terms of accessories, Like I said, unfortunately, I don't have all of them with me because a lot of them are in storage because I built this so long ago and they're not even in the country. But you get a heat hawk, which can be stored in the skirt. You get a bazooka, and you get a megazooka, and a see if I can. No, I don't have one on my shelf. Well, I was trying to see if I had a. You know what? You get it basically with the standard layout with the Zaku. You get the rifle, you get the bazooka, you get the heat hawk, and you get this bazooka. This is actually from the HG, but almost all Zakus have the same loadout, except for the P Bandai. I know I keep bringing it up, but we'll talk about it later. But yeah, in terms of accessories, you get it's the same standard ones you get on any MG Zaku 2. So let's move on. So in terms of articulation, what you're gonna get is the shoulder can come out like that, but take it with a grain of salt because, like I said, it's the wrong way around. But on a normal one, it can do that as well. Arm can go full 360. The other shoulder armor can come out, can move, it's very flexible. Head goes back about that far, forward about that far, and you get a 360 on it. You get about this much of a crunch. Hold on, let me move that. And you get about this much of an arc, not that much. The skirts have articulation, but not too much. But the front ones can come up about that far. And the legs, you get about there for a kick. About that much of a knee bend, and you get pivots in the feet, and the toe can move up about that much. Elbow, you get about 90 degrees, and you get articulation on the flaps. And that's about it. I'm gonna do it for articulation. Yeah, so I can't remember if I put up another review for an MG Zaku 2, but all of them pretty much have the same articulation because a lot of them are the same mold. So yeah, you get some very nice articulation. It's not perfect, it's not the greatest in the world, but it's still, very servable, very posable as you saw earlier. So that's gonna do it for about articulation. So here is the size comparison. As you can see, it's the same size as the P Bandai. It's also going to be the same size as the Gabby Hazard, which all of them are going to be the same size. Here it is next to the Gelgoog. Here it is next to the high grade version. And as always, here it is next to the Nightingale. So it's fairly typical size. It has a nice little shelf presence. So yeah, there we go. That's about going to do it. Like I said, this was just a quick, easy review. The more in-depth one for the 800th time is going to be with the P Bandai one at the end of the month. But like I said, I have a lot of love for this kit. It was the first one that really, as you can see, it wasn't perfect, and I believe I've gotten better since, but I sat down and I put on even like the tiny little warning ones, and I love this. Not just this kit specifically. If you want to buy it. I would highly recommend it in terms of, because everyone just goes straight for the Shah or the Grunt, but if you want a really nice looking one that really sticks out on your shelf, there's not a lot of white kits like this, so I would grab this one. But this kit specifically, the one I'm holding in my hand, I have true love for this. This channel would not be possible for it. My love would not be for this. I would be a much richer man if not for it, but not as happy. So all that being said, I would highly recommend this, and thank you for watching. Keep an eye out in a couple days for the next Shin Matsunaga month. Alright guys, take it easy. Gandamu, Shmo, da 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 da.